The observation deck of the Galactic Refuge Station hummed with the quiet efficiency of 1,000 species coexisting in careful neutrality. Alara Voss stood at the transparisteel window, watching the debris field drift past like metallic snow. Somewhere in that wreckage were the remains of 17 colony ships, torn apart by raiders who cared nothing for the lives they shattered. She had been assigned to the Refugee Intake Center for 3 months now, ever since the Terran diplomatic corps decided that humanity needed a softer face among the stars. The other species still remembered Earth's wars, still whispered about human violence in their native tongues when they thought no translator was listening. "Dr. Voss, we have a situation in Bay 7. Her assistant's voice crackled through her neural implant. Alara turned from the window and made her way through the winding corridors. Bay 7 housed the youngest refugees, the ones who had lost everything and everyone. The ones whose eyes still held that hollow look of incomprehension, as if their minds refused to accept what their hearts already knew. When she entered, chaos greeted her. Medical staff backed against the walls, their various appendages raised in defensive postures. In the center of the room, a small figure crouched on top of an overturned supply crate, fur bristling, eyes wild with terror. Cub Rinlo was of Elrathi, no more than 6 standard years old by Alara's estimate. His species resembled the foxes of Earth, though they stood upright and possessed 3-fingered hands capable of remarkable dexterity. His russet fur was matted with grime and a poorly healed scar ran across his left shoulder where some weapon had grazed him. He attacked Dr. Theris when she tried to administer the immunization, one of the nurses explained, her translucent skin flushing an anxious purple. "We've tried 3 times. He won't let anyone near him." Alara studied the cub. She had seen that look before, in human children pulled from war zones, in the eyes of soldiers who had finally broken under the weight of what they had witnessed. It was not aggression that made Cub Rinlo bare his teeth. It was absolute, primal terror. "Everyone out," Alara said quietly. "Dr. Voss, protocol states that, out, now." The medical staff exchanged glances but complied. When the door sealed behind them, Alara was alone with the frightened cub. She made no sudden movements, simply sat down on the floor several meters away from him, crossing her legs in a relaxed posture. For long minutes, neither moved. Cub Rinlo's breathing came in sharp, rapid gasps. His ears swiveled constantly, tracking every sound in the sterile bay. Alara simply breathed, letting her own calm presence fill the space between them. "You don't have to be scared," she said softly, knowing her translator would render the words into something the cub could understand. "No one here will hurt you." The cub's lip curled, revealing needle-sharp teeth. A low growl rumbled in his chest, a sound far too large for such a small body. Alara remained still. "I know you don't believe me." "Why would you? Everyone you trusted before is gone. Every place that felt safe was destroyed. And now there are strangers with needles and strange smells and unfamiliar faces." Cub Rinlo's growl faltered slightly. "My grandmother used to tell me a story," Alara continued, her voice barely above a whisper, "about a fox caught in a trap. A human found the fox and wanted to help, but the fox was so scared that it bit the human's hand. Do you know what the human did?" The cub said nothing, but his ears tilted forward, just slightly. "The human freed the fox anyway, even though it hurt. Even though the fox didn't trust her. Because sometimes, being strong means choosing kindness when anger would be easier." Alara slowly extended her hand, palm up, fingers relaxed. She made no move to approach, simply offered. An invitation, not a demand. Cub Rinlo stared at her hand as if it were a weapon. His whole body trembled with indecision. Then, moving with the jerky caution of a creature that expected pain at any moment, he descended from the crate. Step by step, he crept forward. When he was close enough, he suddenly lunged, teeth flashing, and bit down hard on Alara's outstretched hand. Pain lanced through her palm. She felt the sharp canines pierce skin, tasted copper in the air as blood welled up. Every instinct screamed at her to pull back, to protect herself. Human reflexes, honed by 1,000,000 years of evolution, demanded retaliation. Alara did not move. Instead, she wrapped her other arm around the cub's shaking shoulders and pulled him close. "It's okay," she whispered, even as her hand throbbed with pain. "It's okay. You're safe now. I promise you're safe." For a heartbeat, Cub Rinlo remained rigid, teeth still locked on her flesh. Then something broke inside him. The bite released, and a sound emerged from his throat that was half sob, half whimper. His small body collapsed against her and he wept. Elara held him as he cried, feeling his tears soak into her uniform, feeling the tremors that racked his small frame. Her hand bled freely, but she did not let go. She simply held him, one hand stroking his matted fur, whispering wordless sounds of comfort. Later, after the medical staff had treated both Cub Rinlo's wounds and her own, after the cub had finally fallen into an exhausted sleep in her arms, Station Commander Thras approached her in the observation lounge. "The other species are talking about what you did," the commander said, his compound eyes reflecting the starlight beyond the windows. "They say only a human would be foolish enough to embrace a creature that was biting them." Elara looked down at the bandage on her hand, at the small sleeping form curled in the chair beside her. "Maybe," she said. "But sometimes what looks like foolishness is actually strength. Sometimes the hardest thing is choosing not to strike back." Commander Thras was silent for a moment. Then he touched his thorax in the Krithian gesture of profound respect. "Perhaps that is why the galaxy needs humans, Dr. Voss, not for your capacity for violence, which frightens us, but for your capacity for mercy, which shamas us." After he left, Elara sat watching the stars, her hand resting gently on Cub Rinlo's shoulder, and thought about what it meant to be human among the stars.